Right, seems to be live. Lighting isn't absolutely awful for now. Probably will be later. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live stream this month. Hopefully, the birds won't be too noisy, but let's face it, they probably will be because I'm talking loud now, and it's their usual time for relaxing. Which is a weird way. It's a weird how we schedule our lives this time now. But I suppose it's because we want it to be convenient for the maximum amount of people. Today, I've got lots of interesting topics. The first one's going to be labels and how we use them around our parrots. Then it's going to lead on to training neatly because labeling can be dangerous there. A bit on influencing from a personal standpoint, what's been going on in the influencer world around parrots and some of the drama. And then a couple of preset questions. Throughout this, I'll be talking about, I'll have the usual Q&A. I'll get the birds out for a little bit. Although, as usual, they'll probably be just sat there so I can actually supervise them like by watching my screen, and it'll probably be chaotic as usual because it's a live stream. We don't tend to sort of like hide that about it because it's the reality of it. Thank you everyone who's joined already. Hello to everyone. Let's do a few shout outs before I begin. Hello Lesson Moore. Hello Mr. Teeny. Hello Klaus, Alice, Scort, Iris, Pioneers, welcome. Scort again, and Singamporia. On the Jazz, welcome as well. Hello everyone. So I'm going to babble for a little bit. Hello, Bird, no Sophie. Babble for a little bit, then I'm going to start with a topic. I know some people sort of like miss it when they come in. Hello, Adara, and filter in a little bit later. That's very cute. So Sunny's enjoying a little bit of chat with me. I don't really see that, but thank you, Mr. Teeny. I don't really feel like I look great most of the time, honestly. But yeah, I mean, short hair is much more convenient, to be perfectly honest. So, hello, Gina. Welcome. So, I hope you guys have been doing well. It feels like it's been ages. Like January really dragged on as a month. It just went on, and I feel like I did my live stream like such a long time ago. So, it's quite a lot to catch up on. If you guys didn't know, I've been studying with Susan Friedman, who's a leading behaviorist and behavior expert. She does a course like a couple of times a year, and it's quite highly oversubscribed. That's been very interesting, and that's been feeding into some of these topics. I'll talk a bit more about that later. So I think it's quite interesting what I'm learning, what is sort of confirming in my mind that me and Sophie do well, and a lot of things that we can improve upon, tighten up, and generally get better, because we can always improve as trainers. You know, someone said that like we're at the summit or something, at the pinnacle, and it's like, no, we're nowhere near. My goodness, there's so much more to find out. And that for me was quite interesting and exciting because I was getting a bit like burned out almost. I felt like I wasn't really developing any new skills, and that was annoying me. And now I'm starting to feel that there's plenty of skills to develop, and I can approach things in a different way, which I really, really like as an approach. Hello, Sherry. Yeah, we all got to get our bird nerd on. Thank you, Iris. It's so nice to have a supportive audience because I'm quite sure I get destroyed elsewhere. So it's very good. So I see we've got quite a few people in already. I should get started with the topic. And I touched on this recently in a Patreon video. I touched on it also on Discord in the conversations on there. But it's going to be it's a big topic and a lot to talk about. So I'm going to start it here in a live, which I tend to do. I tend to test the topics on a live, see what people say, and maybe develop them. Then I'll probably do a video later on it, dedicate as well as a interview. I want to do an interview on a topic because there's lots to talk about. Hello, Parrots and Wills. I feel like I haven't seen you in ages, so it's nice to see you. So let's talk about labels in our parrots. Now, when we label parrots, I'm talking about the sort of names we give their behaviours. For example, you see dominant, or you see territorial, you see hormonal, or you see anxious, separation anxiety. These are all labels that we use, and I use as well. And labels are convenient. They rapidly convey meanings and information of a whole group of subjects, but they can be misused, and they can be dangerous if used incorrectly, because it's very easy to label things. Us humans love labeling everything, labeling each other, labeling things in the environment, labeling our animals, because it makes things easier to understand and quicker. It's a quick solution. It's a sort of like shorthand. And in that respect, they're useful. And also, by the way, some of you are probably going to say, yeah, you use labels as well. Yes, I do use labels for two reasons. One, I have to use labels on YouTube, otherwise no one will ever find my videos. And number two is sometimes, as I said, labels can be convenient. It is useful to label things in certain situations. But when that label is inappropriately placed on something, or people don't look beneath the surface of that label, that's where you start to have issues. Labels can be inaccurate, massively inaccurate, which can lead to training problems, which we'll talk about later. Labels can also be misused by people to just justify something or justify their own decisions. So, for example, a bird's dominant or a bird's territorial. It's like, I can't deal with that. So they just use it as a way to sort of slide off the responsibility. And that may sound a bit accusatory, but it's not really intentional. But, you know, it's a very easy get out of jail free card to just say, this is dominance. I can't deal with it. I am not qualified to deal with it. So that bird needs to go. When in reality, everyone's qualified to deal with these issues. And that's why I hate some of the elitism you see where people say, I have all the answers and you possibly can't do it. You can learn to do it. And, you know, all it takes is a little bit of guidance, a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of know-how, because I don't expect everyone to know how to train a bird or everything about a bird when they first talk to me or watch a video. You know, we've all started somewhere. Like if someone wanted me to craft a wooden bench, I wouldn't have a clue. But if I was shown how to do it, given some instructions to it, I could do that. But anyway, I digress. So my favourite misused labels, I wrote them down here for myself: dominant, hormonal, anxious, and angry or aggressive. Those are like the most commonly overused labels. And again, this is something that was covered in my course as well, which I found reinforced my belief on this. Is, for example, if you take the label of dominant, you ask the person, well, what makes you think your parrot's dominant? They say they're attacking me. And then you say, why are they attacking you? They say because they're dominant. And then you have this horrible cyclical reasoning, which doesn't actually get to the root of what's going on, you know. And it can be tough to break people out of that cycle. You know, once they've got this thought in their head that the bird's dominant, that concept is there, you know, it's been thrown around for such a long time. They're like convinced it's that. And then it takes a bit of effort to try and say, well, what is your bird actually doing? Is it actually dominant behavior or is it related to something else? Like, let's take the dominance example. So your bird's dominant because it flies your head all the time. Okay. So it's trying to dominate you. That's a very common thing you see a lot. And my favorite sort of counter argument for that is, well, what happens if your bird isn't dominant? Ask yourself the question, why? Why is it doing it? Is it being angry up there? Is it biting you? No, it's just trying to dominate me because it's on my head. But no, it's not really, because if you think about it, they fly to your head for safety. If it's just going up there and you haven't done the adequate training to teach it to step up or positively reinforce it being elsewhere, of course it's going to fly there. So then the labels and constructs start to fall apart very rapidly once you dig a little bit deeper. And they are construct, and in the course, the construct was used in different ways. I'm going to use it in a different way to what was described to me. Construct to me means something that's constructed of various different things. In the course, they said that construct is basically a fictional thing. It doesn't have any physical meaning. But I think the other reasoning is quite useful as well. If you have a construct, it's made up of different things. So you have this dominance label. That is made up of individual behaviors, which you can analyze and take it apart. So the dominance label falls apart the more you deconstruct it. The more bits and pieces you take away from it, the more it becomes just a label and completely useless to your training. Like the head example, like the biting example, you take these individual aspects and you work on them, then the construct's useless. You don't even need it. So I'll just have a quick peek on what Pinus has said. Don't think I've ever used dominance to describe my girls, but I've definitely used a hormonal label. We've used a hormonal label, you know. Labels can be useful if they're quickly displaying information, and if you do like dig into it a little bit more. This isn't a live stream about demonizing labeling in its useful context. It's more about making people think about the labels that are thrown around, and also the misuse of labels and labels as constructs from both the fictional point of view, which I will talk about in a future video because it's a big topic and it was explained to me at length, and also the sort of thought process I've developed for using the word construct in relation to them. And I'm sorry if I've lost anyone or I'm rambling here, because it's a lot. For such a simple sounding topic, there's an awful lot to it. So let me look at my quick notes here. Yeah, so when we're labeling stuff, the biggest question I always ask is why? Why? Just ask the question why. Why is it that? And when you start going to a cycle, you ask them to break it down. And what Sophie just said, ask you what the behavior actually looks like. What does it look like from these people? Get them to actually describe behavior. And that's where the whole ABC thing comes on. You know, like you've got your antecedent, which is the thing that happens before, the behavior, which is the behavior, and the consequence, which happens after. So you start analyzing it. And then you notice that these things are made up of different things, and the whole construct label starts to fall apart. So before I lead on to my last sort of topic point on this, I want to see what other people have to say. So Miss Tina thinks it's very important. Wants me to go on. I won't go on too much because then it will go into a big ramble. And I don't want to sort of like regurgitate what I've learned as well. I like to put things in my own words, like with my own version of construct. And while I want to introduce the topic to you guys here, because it's very important, I want to analyze it properly and convey it my own way, because I think it's very important as an educator, because it helps me understand it, helps me convey it to a way you can understand through myself. And it's not just copying, because I don't really like copying other people's work, even if it is literally just, you know, the way it's factually presented. I'd like to discuss these things in person. Maybe we can have a chat on Discord one day. I've got something I'm planning for patrons and channel members in the future. You would have to probably be a member of Discord for this, I'm afraid. So if you aren't, then we can give you a link about analysing stuff and looking at various examples and trying to pull little bits out of it. So labels useful for identifying specific needs, I think, but the danger is people just like, oh, my bird. Yeah, exactly. It's about looking in the depth and not just flippantly throwing them around. The more you flippantly throw around a label, the worse things get. If you use it and consider what's behind that, then yeah, you know, maybe it's useful. Is it shorthand? So Scott, Sunny used to be very cranky in the morning. I thought she wasn't a morning bird. After she got off the sugary pellets, she loves the mornings. Yeah, again, you know, it's amazing what you can find when you dig into diet as well. Diet's such a big cause of so many issues, and it's one of the last places people look often. You know, when a parrot's misbehaving, they think, oh my god, the bird doesn't like me, the bird's angry, the bird's territorial, and then you find that they're on like the worst kind of pellet with full of E numbers, and they get nothing but that and seed, and you're like, well, why would your parrot want to interact with you? You know, they need to bond with you, they need to learn, you need to sweeten the deal, pardon the pun. Cool. Let's have a quick look, and I'll do my last topic. I'm trying to click that button. So I agree as well. Right. So, as I said, be observant. Ask your question why. Dig into the behaviours and look at what the behaviours actually look like. So this leads on to the training. So I feel this is the biggest area that labels are harmful, because I thought it'd be quite a neat little lead on here. And then after this little topic, I'll have a pause, take some questions, and get the birds out before I go on to the next stuff, because the influence is probably going to be like a whinge by me, along with the gossip that's going on. They're harmful when training. So say, for example, you're a trainer and you've had some background information and you hear that a bird is aggressive. Okay. So you're already approaching that animal with that in your mind, and that's going to influence how you interact with the animal. Instead of just taking it, again, something we say in consults a lot, treat things with a clean slate, try and approach things like that way. If you have that preconception, you're already labeling the animal, and in some ways actually setting yourself up for more difficult time. I wouldn't say failure, because, you know, sometimes it still works, but you're having a much more difficult time. So it's something I have to keep in mind with Charlie and Kipling, especially Kipling a little less so, although we did have a setback where he nipped me quite badly in my hand stepping up. You know, I was really proud. I was like, oh, he's stepping up so nice now, then that happens. But, you know, with Charlie especially, you know, because Charlie's behaviour isn't related to anger, or he doesn't hate me or anything, although I had to use that title in my video again because I need people to watch it. He just gets very overstimulated around me, and he's slightly fearful. And if I approached him with the mindset that he is angry and he hates me all the time, then I wouldn't get really very far. And Sophie does have to nudge me sometimes, because I take a much more cautious approach in that side of things. But if you do have a mindset for something, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy when training. So it's very important to keep that your mind open when you're training with birds. Even if you're training with someone else's, they told you something, look at what you can actually observe. So you approach a macaw and it's got its beak open and it's lunging at you and its feathers are ruffled up. That's a pretty good sign it doesn't like you. If you approach that macaw that's been previously labelled and it's backing away on the perch from you a little bit and showing a bit of shyness, difficulty, that's something different. And you can potentially work with that and maybe see if it wants to target, given enough time and patience. So don't let other people's labels, don't let your own labels hold you back in training, because it can be difficult. This is the other big problem with labels. And again, it was reinforced by Susan. I don't want to paraphrase what she said, because again, I feel it's copying, but behaviors obfuscate or I was going to use another big word. I know not everyone's a native English speaker. Obfuscate or hide the actual problem sometimes. So again, like when you're analysing those behaviours, say if you attach a label and oh yeah, on surface level, that label looks correct. But you have to dig deeper into that, because if you take that label at face value and just assume it, if we did that on consults, we would never get anywhere. We'd just rattle off some generic solutions and people would never actually have any of their problems solved with us. Don't let it obfuscate the actual problem. Analyze it very carefully, dig a bit deeper and find out what's actually going on, because it can often be a distraction. It's like someone throwing a ball in one direction, you look there, but actually the problem's in the other direction, you know. So be very careful and be very analytical when you're looking at stuff. On the jazz, sometimes aggression is mistaken for just being playful. That is true. Sometimes it can happen. It helps with experience, and it also helps with just like reading what's actually happening in that moment to make that distinction. So that's the end of my sort of topics for labels and training. I got through that quite quickly. Let's catch up on the chat, and I'll get the boys out. So things want to be noisy. Please feel free to drop your opinions on this as well. Any questions as well? If I missed them, Sophie will read them out. I'm happy to talk to all of you. So Adara, hormones is hormonal, but that is because of past diet, no routine, allowed to become attached to reflection. It's usually never just as simple as hormone. Exactly. All of those contributing factors point you in the direction of hormones. And in that context, you can say it's hormonal. If he was just literally like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example that's often misrepresented as hormones, being extra loud. That's often people attribute that to hormones just on its own. Then you could say that may not be that, but you've got a perfect example there. All those contributing factors have pointed you in that direction because you've analysed it and you've looked at it. Mr. Teeny, I think that is a core principle of living with birds. Look at what's going on and really try to get a good feeling of understanding what's going on. Yeah, analyse and observe. You know, it's very simple in principle, but sometimes it's a little bit more difficult in practice. And it's something we have to remind ourselves of constantly, especially in those moments when maybe we are going to get bit, or maybe your bird's screaming and you really want them to be quiet, and you just, you know, your brain instinctively goes for that quickest solution, that quickest label that tells you that's what the problem is, I need to fix it. It's natural, it's hardwired into us and the way we think. So going against that, sometimes taking that deep breath, taking that step back can be very helpful for solving problems. For example, Charlie's been quite noisy recently. So I've desperately been trying to sort of sit and catch him when he does it and observe it and see what's actually going on behind that, so I can maybe work on that rather than just making an assumption he's attention seeking, because I'm not 100% sure it is that anymore. So Adora, I find parrots are genuinely just unpredictable. You can learn their body language and try to understand, but they're individual sentient beings, and so we can't simplify the needs like we want. So I would 100%, well, no, I'd 99% agree with that and 1% disagree. 99% sentient, incredibly individual, incredibly intelligent, and we aren't parrots. We can't get inside their brains and think like they can. We can, but the 1%, we can learn their body language. We can analyze their behaviors. We can make predictions based on what they do, which will help inform our decisions on how we approach them in the future. So I'd 100%, I would agree with you, but with the caveat of that we can learn and we can gain experience, which helps us to predict a lot of things. Not to go into boring philosophy, but things only unpredictable until you understand it. That's the quickest way I can say it, basically. So let me get the boys out, because I'm quite sure they're going to appreciate it, and then we'll see what other people have to say. Hello, little ones. I'm wearing my PJs. I forgot to change my jeans, so please forgive me for my appearance. It's been very busy with work recently and other stuff, so I'm like quite tired. Right. I presume you guys are just going to stay there. They don't seem to be very interested in me. I've got some millet here, so maybe if they want to train later, they can. So Nirvana Mad Paul, hello. My macaw hates water. Not sure her past. Music and showers now get her excited in displays, but if she's splash, depending on how she gets annoyed, hair splash, just not deliberate. So if she doesn't hate, obviously she has to drink it, so she can't hate it completely. But if your macaw is hesitant of water, maybe try to pair it positively with things. So maybe a very light mist, maybe just a mist near her of water. Don't spray her directly, because it could be seen as a punishment. 1 second. Right, monster. You're not coming out, I'm afraid, because it's not your turn. And I can't supervise you all at once on my own. You guys have been very good, so I'm going to reward you for that. And you guys have been very good, so I'm going to reward you for that. Pickles, you have to be quiet to get your reward. Right, so sorry, Nirvana. So yes, try to pair water positively. So maybe spray near your macaw and then reinforce them if they make a bathing response. Then try lightly misting above them. Don't just go straight like at her with water, because that's probably going to have that opposite effect. Louis, I just gave you a treat. Right, I'm going to have to just tolerate him being noisy. at the moment because I'm going to get derailed completely. Okay. What do you do with your straw? Do you just drop him? Is that why you're whinging? It's not my fault you dropped your straw. Look, there it is. Or did Kipling steal yours? No, it's fine. It's because Louis was complaining because Kipling dropped his straw and then Kipling promptly stole Louis' straw. So I had to go and fetch it for him because he got very angry. And I would get angry if someone stole my straw as well. Right, so Pioneers, my friend is currently having an issue with hormonal behaviour. The birds are on a super healthy diet, good sleep schedule, loads of exercise and foraging, but the birds are attacking and nest hunting. The problem with that, Pioneers, is I would need a lot more information. I'm actually saying it in comments more because the more I learn, the more I can't just give quick fix answers. And obviously, this isn't an insult to you or your friend because obviously, you know, it's difficult to deal with. It just takes digging, and your friend's probably going to. I think we might have discussed this before. Your friend's probably going to book a consult if you want. If there's no obvious solutions, then it needs to dig a much deeper dig. And there's only so much we can do to help there. So yeah, if you can give me some more details in chat, maybe I can give you some way to start, and that might help. Louis, I regret giving him a straw now because it just made things worse. Everything was quite quiet and great, and now look at it. Right, so what have we got? Someone's boring philosophy. You like? I can't even pronounce that. Your turkeys are acting up. See, this is where it starts. It's Louis, what a naughty little boy. You may have to in a little bit, Sophie. I don't know. He may just settle down. So what have we got? Welcome, Pathfinder Pony. You missed a lot of talk on labelling. Just you can watch it back later. Just not droplets. So if she's got a bath, she enjoys steam, just not droplets. Then desensitize her to it. You know, pair it positively. Same sort of stuff. Yeah, never steal my straws. I'll be very displeased. Trillius, I love parrots too. They're awesome. Apart from when Louis decided he's going to continuously yell while I'm trying to do a live stream. I love Louis. He's such a cheeky little monster. But my God, most of the time he's quite quiet. But he loves irritating the other birds when they have their outings. And he loves just randomly screaming. And when I say randomly, I do actually mean randomly, unpredictably. He just enjoys it sometimes. He'll be completely quiet. He'll just do it. And then he'll just get it out of his system and be quiet again. It's just random. I mean, who isn't upsetty spaghetti these days? I mean, it's a world of upsetty spaghetti. It's just sad, isn't it? So where were we? Any questions, please feel free to drop them. Did anyone have any more comments on labelling in relation to training or labels in general before I move on? So I'm going to talk about influencer stuff in a second. There's been some drama in the bird world recently. I found something really stupid on my other channel, my Spooderpod channel recently, which I wanted to talk about. And I wanted to talk about Ellen the Birds as well in a positive way, because for once, on Discord, sometimes it's a lot of negativity about a lot of content at the moment, and it's nice to sort of say something positive about people. So I'm going to take the opportunity to do that today. And I've got two preset questions, one that's going to get me on a rant, and another one that's just an interesting topic. Let's skip that so you guys don't have to watch ads because it's not as if they help. Cheeky is a label. Cheeky is definitely a label. It's a label I happen to like utilising because it describes Louis to a T. All those little behaviours that Louis contributes to the label of cheeky make up that cheeky label. Yeah, I love it on the jazz as well. Why did I reward them? And you boys, you want to come over? You say hello to everyone. You say hello. You big boss man. You big boss man. Are you barking at the screen? You saying hello? It's just a moment of calm where you get to enjoy my cockatiels. I'm trying to wave them so you can actually see them. I've been teaching Chibi card tricks, or starting to teach him card tricks, which has been quite fun recently. Where do you want to go? You okay? You want to go back there? What about you, Fish? You take a treat? Yeah, you greedy little boy. And that's been quite fun because I like teaching like random silly tricks, and it helps with mental stimulation, enrichment. It's quite entertaining, isn't it? Do you want to stay with me, or do you want to go back there? What do you want? You can go up there. If he does go toilet, there's nothing I can do about it. Fish has a nasty habit of doing it, so I really hope it's not to the front. So let's just turn your tail that way, thank you, because that would be rather embarrassing, quite horrible. Fish loves bonking. It's not even a territorial behaviour for him or hormonal behaviour. He just likes doing it. I think I might have accidentally reinforced it in the past with a treat, and he just keeps on doing it. That's cute on the jazz. I mean, they're very dusty smelling. I mean, that's what I describe it as. It's because I gave them straws. The moment I gave them straws, they started up. I should have just not rewarded them for quiet, because apparently that's not the right thing. Anyway, let's start talking about influencer stuff. So let's talk about the first sort of interesting, good, not very good, it's good and bad. So it's Ellen the Birds. Ellen the Birds recently put on Instagram that she's not going to be producing videos very often anymore, that she's just a bird owner, and that she hasn't got any specialized knowledge, and that she just wants to enjoy her birds anymore without having to worry about like people asking her for advice constantly. And one, I really like the fact that she just admits that she's just a bird owner, you know. But in her defense, you know, despite just being a bird owner, she's given a lot better advice to some of the experts out there, you know. She's produced an excellent video on travel carrier training. She produced some good video content on general training and sort of like a good advice. You know, some of it wasn't the best, but she just admitted she's only a bird owner. And I thought it was really good. A lot of her content was very good. And it's kind of a shame almost, because she was another avenue that younger people could learn about responsible parrot ownership. And now those younger people are probably going to go to less than ideal accounts. Hopefully they'll come to us, but, you know, I don't know. I don't know if I'm that relatable. And they're going to go to other less reliable accounts, and they're going to get bad advice. So it's a shame, really. At least her back catalogue will be there, and she will still be producing videos occasionally. But yeah, I quite liked Elle. Her attitude was good, and maybe she'll go back to it in the future. You know, who knows? We're always going to be keeping up the good fight. You know, keep on learning, keep on producing content as much as we can. The views are terrible, but I think that's for a lot of people. And it feels like an uphill struggle, especially when you've got other people giving the most awful advice, getting thousands of views, and you're just like face palming, thinking, please, goodness, stop it. Which leads on to my other thing. So on my other channel, which is my invert channel, Spooderpods, where I talk about like looking after spiders and stuff, there is this like experimental feature where it shows you little bookmarks of where things go well and badly. But for some reason, my channel's doing very well. It's getting consistent views constantly. My videos are doing very well on there. And I was like, yay, that's good. And then suddenly, one day, they just went, like, they were going like that, and then suddenly it went like that. I was like, huh? But luckily, YouTube to the rescue put the little experimental feature to explain exactly what happened and what I did wrong. And this is what they said, to quote, "Your views are down because your videos are being shown to people who may not be interested in them." Just let that sink in for a moment. My views on my channel are down because my videos are being shown to people who aren't interested in them. Why is YouTube showing my videos to people who aren't interested in them? Like, why would you do that? Obviously, you know, you want to push the audience. You want to show it a little bit to other people. You know, you want to sort of expose people to different sort of like interests. But mostly people go on YouTube to watch what they want to watch. So, you know, I'm quite sure it's what happening to my channel here and a lot of other channels out there. Just something's gone wrong, and also it completely derails their line of saying that, oh, we have no control over it. Well, clearly you do, because you're showing my video to people who aren't interested in it. Why won't you show it to people who are interested in it? And it's ridiculous. When I saw it, another facepalm moment. Like, who thought of that as a good idea? You know, absolutely ridiculous. It's stupid, Pioneers. Absolutely stupid. I agree, Parrots and Woods. It is sad she feels that way, but she put a positive spin on it. I don't know if the stories are still there, if she saved them. You can read it from her own mind, read it from her own words. Oh, that's quite cute, though, literally shouting his own name. Could you help out there, please? Can you help out, please? Because you keep moving in the hallway, and it's just really kicking them off. Yeah, so it's cute that he's learning his own name. Louis likes to say his own name and Kipling's name quite a lot. So what have we got here? So Scott, before I found you guys, I had watched so many videos that I felt didn't give a real answer, and I felt like I was failing as a cocktail owner. When I found you, straightforward videos, thank you. You know, and you shouldn't feel like you're failing, really, especially if you're given bad advice, you enact that bad advice and it's not working. All you're being taught is rubbish, basically, that way, you know. And then, like you try and find someone who is going to teach you a better way of doing things. We find we have that quite a lot. You know, people going back to the algorithm thing, people are saying, oh, well, I wish I'd found you sooner. You know, it's such a shame. It's like, yeah, because we wish so too. You know, it's just a shame that whatever YouTube's doing is ruining it for so many creators. Hello, welcome, Carolyn. Thank you, Iris. You know, we try our best. We don't proclaim ourselves to be experts. We like to call ourselves professionals because we have a lot of experience. But, you know, anyone who's an expert is at the top of level, and we always have further to go, further and further. and I want to keep on climbing that ladder to learn even more and be better. And that's something we highly aspire to and want to do. You can see Sophie in the background, finally keeping Louis quiet, which I triggered for unknown reason. Blimey. So the other thing regarding influencer stuff, there's been a bit of drama, and I have to allude to it rather than talk about it out loud. So Mikey and McCourt had a bit of drama recently with like noise complaints, which is quite interesting to watch. You know, it must be quite annoying for them as well. I don't know their personal lives. I'm not really interested in other people's personal life, but you know, how irritating to have that. There's been a lot of like drama around that and controversy. There's also been some bullying incidents in the bird influencer world where like smaller influencers have been bullied by bigger ones, and that's kind of pathetic as well. It's like, come on, we all should be in this together at some extent, you know. Unless someone's actually stealing your content and being horrible, why is that necessary? You know, it's pathetic. That's also sort of riled me up. There's been a lot of misinformation again, but what's new there is constant thing, which leads on to the topic that I come on to. I'm not going to talk about pellets today. That's not happening. The topic I keep coming back to, and that's science in relation to pet parrots. There's not much science out there. And when you're looking at science of pet parrots, show me a study isn't good enough. Show me one study isn't good enough. You want a study with replications, a study that's been verified, a study with consensus. That is science, not I've seen this one thing and that thing's correct because I've seen it, because someone had 5 cockatiels and one of them liked beefcake rather than seed. And then I've therefore cockatiels like beefcake. You know, it's just ridiculous. I don't even know what beefcake is. It's just
beef gristle.
Beef gristle. You know, it's silly. So when you're looking at studies and science, make sure that you're looking as accurately as possible and always judge it with a critical eye. That's something I've seen a lot. Show me a study is shown, and that study is just one study of no replications and no real verification and a very limited sample size. So be very careful with that sort of stuff, guys. You know, science is science. Science is search for truth. And science is always evolving. So if the science is not evolving, it's from ages ago, then you have to question how useful or valid it's going to be. You know, it may be useful. It's always worth exploring, but not to a massive extent. So Pinus, I had someone comment on my video today that he's been looking for Pinus content for 3 years on YouTube, and it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's absolutely ridiculous. Oh my goodness. It's absolutely ridiculous, Pinus, isn't it? You know, you're probably like one of the best sources of Pinus information on YouTube, and yet only just recommended it. You know, they're probably recommending someone's, I don't know, African grey who can sing to them. You know, they're searching Pinus and it's Barry the African grey who can swear at you. You know, it's ridiculous. Nikolai, my cockatiel is a ham. Overacting when I poked his belly when he was preening. Then he let a post touch scream after I sat back in my chair. Well, you know, you don't want to be poking their bellies. Unless you do it with your nose to test their kill. Alice, that is exceptionally naughty. Thank you very much. It's much appreciated. Thank you very much. I do like these little emojis, you know, as much as YouTube annoys me, they do have cute emojis, and it's very nice of you to do that. Thank you very much. It's always appreciated. And Mr. Teeny, and if you do pull one study, at least read it. Yeah, I know you've chuckled. And don't just quote sentences out of context. Yeah, so when you're looking for studies, some of them are behind paywalls. So obviously you can get an idea of the study from the abstract. We frequently do that to just get an idea of what people are talking about. But yeah, don't quote just the abstracts. The abstract's not going to tell you very much. But I do understand people's difficulty with that because they can't access it. So Adara, the bullying is news to you. So sadly, I can't go into any more detail on that. Sophie can fill you in privately because I'm not having drama on my live channel, honestly. I try to avoid as much drama as possible. I will observe it. I'll be mindful of it. I'll know what's going on, especially if it's related to bad education, because that bit really riles me up. But yeah, I can't allude to that. So I was wondering if people were interested or heard about it.
We're very much on the outside of drama, looking at. We don't get involved.
Yeah, basically, we try to look through. We try to be outside of the house, looking through the window at drama, rather than being in there yelling at the in-laws, because it's not really very conducive. And ultimately, we want a more cooperative relationship between people, and we want people to do well. I'm aware of it. For anyone curious, it's easy to stay out. It's always easy to stay out of it. Because why on earth would you want to get involved with someone else? Especially these are effectively strangers most of the time. It's not really worth it. Score. It's also bad when the search engines pick and choose what they want and don't give what you're actually looking for. Oh my goodness, it's so annoying. And I'm not even talking about bird stuff. When I'm talking like searching for random stuff, like I just want to look for like Warhammer models or something, it gives me something completely unrelated. It just drives me nuts. Just show me what I want. when I want it, especially on YouTube. Like I do a lot of invert research from the bugs because I want to learn more about them. I'm getting a very good baseline knowledge thanks to talking to people, reading up on it. But I want to watch that sort of content, and I just get all sorts of random tosh recommended to me. It's crazy. So what we'll do, are you going to hang around here, or are you going back in the other room? If you're hanging around, we'll put the boys in about 5 minutes, then we'll get Pickles and Scampi out, and they can play around. Any questions, guys? A lot of great conversation, which I'm really loving. I've got a couple of pre-prepared questions, which if no one asks anything in the next minute, which I will cover. And then, as I just said to Sophie, we'll get Pickles and Scampi out, maybe do some training on here. You guys just enjoy watching it. Do you want to come over here, Chief? Are you okay? Absolutely not. Well, there you go. There's consent-based thing here all at once there. Make sure it's consent-based as well, because if he doesn't want to step up, I'm not going to force him. What difference it make to me? Parade him in front of you guys. I'll try fish in a second. He's normally keener. Yeah, because you're here. Like, you want to come? You want to come because your brother's coming, don't you? Hello. He does 100% say that. I respect that as well. Are there any good budgie channels out there? Do you know any good budgie channels? Mr. Teeny's got a channel. He's got a budgie channel, and that's got some good training on there. I would love to do more budgie content. I'm itching to do budgie content, but I refuse to do budgie content unless I have a budgie firsthand to show stuff with. And obviously that's impossible because we've got too many birds. So if one day, if we have a bigger place and stuff, I will do budgie content. And I know quite a bit about the little guys. I just want to refresh that knowledge and actually have one firsthand. Is there a good way for teaching not to eat a keyboard? Redirection most of the time. Redirection, giving them their own one, which you can supervise them destroying. Do you want to go up there? Okay, they want to go up on top of the thing. Oh, that's something else I'm going to do in the future as well. Allowing your bird's choice in an operational environment. Something I didn't know it had a word, like a term, and I've learned recently as a term there's papers on it. So I am going to be doing videos on that. Probably start off with Patreon and then do it more because I am big into choice and having your birds have their own environment they can interact with and choose to do things in. Not to the extent they're out 24/7 unsupervised, but to the extent they can make choices in their environment and have be self-rewarding for that. I digress again because I got distracted. I mean, Mr. Teeny, you're still ahead of some of the big budgie YouTubers, so I think that puts your channel like in the top 5 budgie channels already. So
I think Ellen the Birds has some historic budgie videos.
Yeah, you can try Ellen the Birds for older content. Do you recommend a Parrot TV channel? We are not sure if one is best. So there is Parrot Town TV. A lot of their stuff's quite good. It's like good background ambient noise. The only ones I'm not so keen on from them is the ones where there's actual parrots vocalizing loudly. It's the background noise is fine. When the parrots on the screen, that could be enriching. But we're not the biggest fan of parrots vocalizing loudly. But generally, yeah, Parrot Town TV is quite good. That would be the one to peek at. There you go, Mr. Teeny. I'm getting you up there in the budgie radar now. So you have to start making content now where I can't. Yeah, children's songs suggested. There's a lot more like nefarious stuff on YouTube behind that, which they won't seem to deal with, which is pathetic. Like, a gory content hidden behind children's songs and stuff. Yeah, it's terrible. So let's answer these questions because this is going to start. One of them is going to start a 5-minute rant. The other one's just going to be a point of interest. So someone asked recently, do we run into problems with our parrots? And, of course we do. Of course we're running into problems with our parrots. Like, for example, the Kipling thing where he bit me the other day when stepping up. That's a problem. That's something that has to be worked through. Charlie being vocalizing a lot very noisily. That's a problem. What other problems have we faced recently with behaviour or generally? Sophie's like, no. Oh yeah, it is a good example. I'm sorry, Iris. Charlie again. Charlie's become very keen, and you probably know of this. Sophie's probably told you. Very keen on interacting with the other birds to the extent that he puts himself in danger. Because we've got so many birds, and we manage them, in a small environment. Lots of rescues. Some of them don't like each other, and Charlie keeps putting himself in danger. He won't learn. He's not conditioning himself in the right way, and that's a big challenge we're having to face because we want Charlie to have the safest, happiest environment. So while we're working on it. Like my relationship with him, we're also having to make sure he's protected and happy when he's out. And most of the time, he loves playing, he'll train, but sometimes he just gets obsessive with going to Pickles. And Pickles loves humans, but other birds, apart from Scampi, so she will bite if a bird goes in those bars. So that is a big problem that we are having to deal with, and we're working through. And Sophie's doing a lot of good work with it. Yes, Adara, yeah. She's doing a lot of work with it by desensitization around them. My work with my contribution, I guess, is making sure that Charlie will step up instantly onto a handheld perch. So if he's ever in danger, so he doesn't have to like wrestle with him or involve, just get the perch, he's immediately on there because it's so strongly reinforced, which also is also beneficial to my relationship, which is why I'm doing that. But that's a problem we're facing. I hope whoever asked that is on this today, otherwise, or watches it back. That's the problem we're facing. We've constantly faced problems because if you're keeping parrots, you're always going to be facing with problems. Doesn't matter how good a trainer you are, there will be the unforeseen. Like Adara said, they can be unpredictable because we don't understand everything that's going on in their heads. So we have to constantly adapt and think on our feet, and then analyze and improve how we enact our husbandry and intervention strategies. You know, it's really important. So yeah, of course we have problems, you know, and we get frustrated and stressed about, which I say pretty much every live stream, but we try to work through it and sort of think, well, we are trainers. We profess to call ourselves trainers to help other people. So we are capable of working through it. And sometimes it can be a confidence issue with a lot of people at home. They know roughly what to do, but they doubt themselves and they maybe get some bad advice and stuff. And then, right, and Sophie had this recently in some really rude comments, which I'm sure Dara will remember. Why is wing clipping so bad? It doesn't hurt them. Now, you're probably going to know what I have to say about this one. Of course, maybe it doesn't directly cause them physical pain. I'm quite sure it just causes them a lot of discomfort. But, you know, come on, you know, yeah, this was separate, by the way, to that, Adara. This was someone a bit more polite than that individual on Sophie's channel. So with wing clipping, I like to think of it as an example of a human, probably not the best example. So I'm going to moderate how I'll express it very carefully. You're basically, the person here wants to bond with their bird by denying them flight and making it difficult to escape. So they're basically trying to corner them in an effective way. So if I wanted to do that to a person, so it's okay. Would it be okay for me to restrain a person and then be like, right, you're going to be my friend now? I'll just restrain them and said, you're going to be my friend now. And I was to do that over a long period of time. There's another word for this. There's several less than nice, pleasant words for that, which are illegal, that I would hesitate to say because it will probably affect this video. You know, if we aren't prepared to do it to other animals, and it's not okay to do it to humans, it's not okay to do it to birds. I don't care if it doesn't hurt them. It does restrict them. It limits their ability to do lots of things. It's not good. And I am sadly going to have to do a dedicated video on the topic in the future. These guys need to go in, by the way, and people's scrapping this come out. I have to do a dedicated video on this in the future because I think it's about time I started weighing in with it. And maybe with some of these analogies, it may make some of these people on the fence think this isn't the right thing to do. It does hurt them mentally as well, Alice. Thank you. You know, it's not good. Yes, that's exactly it, Dara. I can't say that on this video because, you know, it could lead to problems. But yeah, that's basically it. You know, if that's not okay, that is not okay, is it? So why is it okay to do it to birds? Completely, it's not. You know, every time there's a lot of basic principles that I struggle to understand why people think they're okay. For example, the whole I promise not to say it, so we'll just have one line. The whole pellet versus natural diet debate. I'm like, it's common sense in the best possible way to think, well, hang on. No, it won't, Adara. It's just I can't say it on the stream, and even then, I'm probably being overly cautious because, you know.
Probably shouldn't anyway.
Yeah, but you know, it's about being overly cautious. Yeah, I'm getting myself distracted now. Because someone asked a question, I thought I'd answer it live, Mr. Teeny. So I wanted to talk about it a little bit, which I'm actually done now because I think we'll stop on there. So anyway, we're at the point of the live stream where it lasts sort of 20 minutes. Where if anyone has any questions, any topical comments, anything you want me to read out, or you want me to just talk, I'll do some training with these guys if you don't, so you're not bored. And I thought, well, excuse me, blimey. That's nice, isn't it? We'll finish a little bit earlier otherwise. Right. Yes, Power World, Adara. I'm really enjoying it. I was playing it today just before I got on this live. Do you want to? Okay, you want to go back there? I'm really enjoying it. I did my first boss where it's like the Electabuzz ripoff and the woman Zoe on top of it. I'm really enjoying it. It's basically like they've combined a lot of really successful things into their own game, mashed them together and made them really good. And on top of that, made it fun. Like all of those quality of life fixes, even though this is like basically a big beta test, all those quality of life fixes are there. And they've improved upon things, you know, to make a really good game. I'd be really sad if Nintendo get it taken down, honestly. I hope that the developers get to keep it and they just make some tweaks to whatever the problems are because it deserves to stay. It's a genuinely fun game. And because all these concepts are mashed together, none of them are proprietary, apart from obviously the Pokemon, the rest of it's sound and it's going to be successful and great. I'd like to play with more people, but I'm kind of antisocial and I can't bother to pay for the online subscription. So I'm trying to convince Sophie to play it, but she's being very reluctant and difficult about it. Exactly, Adora. It's everything it could have been. Do you remember playing Pokemon Arceus? If you played that, that was excellent. This is like next tier up. The only thing that would probably improve it is weather and a bit more of a plot, which I'm hoping they'll add in as time goes on. Really enjoyable game. Pioneer's Tales. I love Powered. I'm really enjoying it. I only got it recently. I just thought, you know what? Why not? I'll just buy it. And yeah, I don't regret the choice so far. It's really good. And also, they're not restricted by the same Pokemon formula as well, because it's getting a bit stale. That's why Arceus was so fresh. But it's so stale now that they need to do something with it. And this is what this game has done. And they're probably just jealous that these guys have done it before them. So let's answer some non-Power World questions, so I could talk about that for quite a while. So it's score. Sunny's wings were clipped when I got her, and I was told she should stay clipped because there are animals in my house. But after doing a lot of research, I was still on the fence. But I went to the pet store where I got her and saw one of the other couples get it, turned my stomach. After clip, yeah. The whole safety thing around other pets is another sort of misleading thing. You know, they should be fully flighted. How are they going to escape that other animal if they get in cornered? You know, they shouldn't be exposed to each other in the first place with predatory animals. I'd argue. You know, some people do it, but it should be very closely supervised. I would say never around cats because you never know. Yeah, it's a difficult topic, honestly. It's another video. I think I did a video on that a while back. So Rishi, how to introduce a green cheek to a sunconure? You do it in exactly the same way as you would any other bird. You know, you'd slowly introduce them. So we tend to take playthings very carefully. So you'd have them in cages opposite sides of the room, their own territories, let them get used to each other, then work on bonding exercises, for example, communal foraging, where they forage from the same large tray, having them on either hands, well separated, supervised activities. I've actually got a video on it that covers it a lot better. But I would introduce lots of positive reinforcement to both of them when they're around, make sure they can share resources, and just try to encourage the flock dynamic between them, because you're all a big part of a flock. Once they realise that, things get better, though sometimes it can take time or be difficult. Thank you very much, Klaus. The flying pear is back. And for some reason, I'm not allowed to like that one. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. I do love these little emojis. Sophie staring from the background. She's always staring from the background. Although she's quite in the shadows right now. She's like a little ninja in the background, helping to keep the birds quiet. This is normally my role as well. I'm normally that ninja. Today, I am not that ninja. I am the one in the front. Have I missed any questions? Yeah, exactly, pilots. And I hope they get the opportunity to add all that stuff. Naughty Iris as well, with the Lime playing the I think, trumpet. Very cute. Thank you very much. Much appreciated as well. Thank you very much for Naughty. The Naughty train's well on the go. Thank you very much. Really? I mean, it's going to be it's going to be the ultimate embarrassment, really, isn't it? Because I'm in my PJs. I've got my comfortable anime hoodie on. I mean, I'm not above shaming myself for other people's entertainment, but not now. Right at the end, so most people won't see it because they don't watch the end. That's it. I need to do John Travolta. The wings grew in. It's good. I'm glad, Scott. I'm glad you're keeping them out. Rewarding for calm training during lives is useful. Oh, goodness. Gina, you're here as well. I can actually like this one. Will it let me?
Let me like it.
Why would it let me like it? I can heart it. Thank you very much, Gina, for joining the Naughty Train. It's much appreciated. And we appreciate all of you. I say it every live, and I think it's important to say every time. We appreciate all of you. Thank you very much for the very generous monetary donations. So thank you very much, everyone, for just watching, because it all helps. You know, just you being here watching helps, and we appreciate all of you. You know, it is really, really useful and nice for us to know that you guys actually like us. You look like you want to come to me. You look like you wanted to come to me for the last minute while I've been talking. You can't have my juice, but you can have this one. You are allowed this one. This one's fresh, just fresh cranberry. You get to see the little one. Just a moment of cuteness between the embarrassment and the Naughty Train and all the other cheekiness. You see yourself on the screen. You see yourself on the screen. Do you want to drink it? Oh, very excited drink. Thank you for a very excited drink. It's a bit nice and calm. You can have a couple more sips each. That was a dry kiss, by the way. I don't recommend wet kissing your bird. Should we go up there? You've had your drinky. You're not interested anymore. Do you want one more? There you go. Good boy. This little man's been very soft with me recently. It's quite rewarding. He's quite cute. He's been very sort of friendly. Do you want a bit of, maybe not Miller, actually, not after a drinky. Sunflower seed. He's been so cute recently and very friendly. He keeps following me around the house and just wanting to sit on my shoulder while I do things. I really like it. Because I just really like these two. They're really cute. Adara joined the naughty train. You probably shouldn't be, because I know you have a lot of things you want to buy for your birds as well recently, and you're thinking about hamster adoption. So there's lots of things going on. But thank you very much. Much appreciated, Adara. Thank you. Thank you, Scott. I like doing these live streams. You know, we try to do only one a month each channel, because otherwise we feel it'd be too many, and it'll overload people a little bit. You have about a minute now. If you come here, you can step up for me. No, you can scare around. Oh goodness, I can't have you on that keyboard. Not want to join a live stream. Come here. Last resort. Sometimes he'll step up, like even if he doesn't want to, onto my sleeved hand, because I don't want to force him. So it's always got to be voluntary. Otherwise, I'll have to just literally just bribe him. This is much easier. Impulsivity is my weakness. It is mine as well, Dara, but I'm quite well behaved. Sophie doesn't give me enough credit for how well behaved I am with impulse control. The amount of things I could purchase, which I can't afford, or the amount of things I could do as someone with OCD as well, you know, I have a very good strength despite my impulsive nature. The less and more Volta, indeed, toot naughty train indeed. You are not getting reinforcer going on that keyboard, little mister. You can go down there if you want. Yeah, you can skit around there. Look, what's this? He has not had a straw yet. You can sit on my arm and have a straw if he wants, because he enjoy that. Oh my goodness! What are you getting? Pickles, you can have a treat because it's brewed, not for you to get one. Chat's gone quiet, guys. Come on! You got to help me out here a little bit, because otherwise I'm going to be talking about Power Word for the next 10 minutes, and anyone who doesn't know what it is going to be bored out of their minds. Questions, comments, things you want to see. I was supposed to be training these guys, but apparently that's not going to be a thing. It's just Scampy enjoying a straw on my arm, and Pickles. Oh, by the way, I can. If anyone's going to ask, can I have my fingers out while he's on me? Of course. It's easier to get him to step up when he doesn't want to on this. Voluntarily.
Scampy having a straw is kind of like prime content anyway. This is premium content.
Premium content. This is how Scampy works out straw. You're not having that juice because it's not natural. Do you want to treat her to a little bit more of the actual stuff?
What you want to do the big slurp?
So Gina, yes, we've got another course. That's what I was supposed to bloody. Oops.
Oh.
It was the English coming out.
Blooming.
So we do have a course coming up, which we initially did ages ago, which we will be releasing. We'll be changing how we do our business as well. So you'll be able to just buy consults and then get the information afterwards. We'll be adding more information on there. Yes, I will be developing content. I'll be developing some Patreon only content, some bonus stuff for you guys to sort of tighten up your behavior analytics. But I don't like copying content directly from other people. Even if it's just factual, I like to do it in my own way. So yes, there will be more content coming up. I am hoping to ask a few people to collaborate with me and give their expert opinions on these topics as well, which will be free for everyone. But there will be some stuff on Patreon only as well. Yes, loads of content, more courses. It's just a matter of time and energy. Because obviously we're looking after these guys. We've got our own little battles, you know, that go on. We want some time to relax. We've got the consults. I've got my course, which is basically writes off a whole Tuesday because it's a 3-hour lecture. Then I've got my work to do afterwards. So, you know, that's taking a lot of time. We're going to do it all as much as we can, really. And, you know, the schooling is really useful. I mean, I'm really enjoying this course. As I said on Discord, and I probably said that right at the start of this, it's confirming some thoughts I had and some ways we do things in a really common sense way, and confirming, sort of giving us a bit more confidence in how we train. It's opening my eyes to ways we can improve and tighten up, and it's introduced me some concepts I wasn't sure about, which now I know and I can have talk with a bit more authority on. So yes, generally very useful. So score our regular crinkle paper that you can buy at the craft store safe. So sometimes, yes. So make sure it's natural dyed. Often there'll be food dyes. The stuff that's safe for kids is generally safe for parrots. If you're worried about it, then obviously don't buy it. But there's a lot of stuff that is safe there. Just look at the label and read into it a little bit. Exactly. Nothing metallic, glittery. You're generally going to be fine with it. And Adara's got a suggestion there if you're in America. So Carolyn asked, where did we get the straws? Which straws do we recommend?
They're from our Amazon stores.
You can get them in our Amazon stores. You go to Amazon stores, you should have examples of them in there.
So the cranberry juice is also on our Amazon stores. It's a Biona one.
Yes.
It's in the fridge for a couple of days. It's completely just normal cranberry.
It's just the Biona stuff is very like concentrated, so you can dilute it a little bit as well for your birds. You finish with that now. Where do you want? You want these now? Monster. Do you want to do some training? Why don't you earn your thing? So yes, go on our Amazon stores, Carolyn. There's some good examples. I'll take these.
Do some flips.
Do you want to do some? Hang on.
It's bird poopy central.
Let me get my hand out. Come on. Flip. Wow. You can do a second one. You can do one more. Let's make you work for it. One more.
I'm so lazy.
I know you are. Look. Come on. Just because you had loads of treats, you have to do. All right. You have to wait for me. I'm not letting you be that lazy. Pickles is like, why am I not getting trained? I love Scampy as well. He's a cheeky little
The
monster.
best boy.
He's like one flip equals one treat. It's like one heart, one prayer. One like, one slice. One flip, one treat. One more, and we'll do another behaviour, and then I'll pop you on the snack thing and get pickles over. Do you want to do something else? Okay, we'll do another flip. The wave. You gonna shake for me? Good boy. You couldn't even see that, I'm afraid. Sorry. Look at this little man. He doesn't want to come off because he wants to train more.
Scampy,
do you want to?
Do you want some more?
Do you want to give him some training so I can have my hands free for a moment?
What's this?
As I said, he's really attached to me recently. It's really quite cute.
Little baby. Let me get me training options.
I think it's because I'm giving him more sunflower seeds for training. Parrots on wheels. Thank you very much, Julia. Choo choo indeed. Thank you very much for that. It's much appreciated. And also, I need to message you just to catch up a little bit. So I feel like I haven't talked to you in quite a while. I need a free hand, basically.
Which one am I having?
We like Julia's thing as well. Thank you very much again, Julia. We love him as well. Oh, and also Caroline as well. If you look at my specials, my festive specials, parrot mocktail, I've got some recipes on there for bird safe drinks that you can just mix up random stuff. It's just quite tasty. You can drink it too. Check those out as well. What do you want? You want to kiss me? Why do you want to kiss me? Do you want more treats from mummy?
Baby.
This is something he does as well. He'll like walk on my shoulder or he'll walk on my arm and he'll just kiss my face or my nose gently. I know I sort of reinforced it in the past, but it's very, very cute. Do you want to flip on camera? Are you going to do it?
She's going to do it over and over.
She can do it.
That's not a flip, is it?
You can do it for me. We're going to have to use the sleeve again.
Scampy do.
We're going to use the sleeve again. Just get on my hand. Well, that's a natural sort of thing, Adara. These conures love their juices. The cockatiels they'll have a bit of tea. They'll have a bit of chamomile sometimes, but they generally want water. The conures, apart from Charlie, who I think he just needs to get used to it, doesn't really like.
Some cranberry today,
oh, that's cool. It's nice. When he gets a taste for it, it'll be like Kipling. He'll be wanting it all the time. You know, they do love their okay. Just have that instead.
Enjoy.
Yeah, a little present. I'll leave this here for you. So I'm going to wrap this up in the next 10 minutes, guys. So don't you dare click on end stream. Well, I think you're going to have to take over from me.
All right, you take this one. I love this one. Come on, monster.
You come here.
She's you.
Yeah, I love Pickles. I love them all really. You know, all of them, even when they're naughty. Pickles is she's just I hate to use this another label here. She's quite easy to interact with. So when I am having difficulty, you know, like it's been a really stressful day, it's quite easy to have her on me. She'll love to sit on my head. She'll love to just cuddle, and I can get on my business. The boys are quite similar, Scampy. So when we try to time the outings to make that a thing. Where do you want to go?
She wants, because she knows I'm training. She wants to snap.
They're so into their training recently. It's really rewarding how into their training these two especially are. Like, so I was just at a point of interest. I've been doing outside flight with Scampy a lot more. Sophie sort of started that a while back. I've kind of taken over a little bit. Oh my goodness! Right, I need to pop you somewhere. And yeah, so I will go elsewhere in the house. I'll just call his name and he'll fly all the way around looking for me and finding me. It's really adorable. It's really cute. School, of course they can drink juice as long as it's natural. So don't try to avoid the concentrate stuff unless it's all natural. Fresh squeeze stuff, even a bit of citrus is okay in moderation. So what I tend to do with citrus is dilute it down, like a little squeeze of lemon in water or a little squeeze of orange in water, just because it's not as sugary. So yes, they can drink juice, and it's quite in moderation, quite healthy for them. Yeah, she's very cute, even though she pooped on me. And yes, Klaus, cockatiels don't tend to like sweet things as much as other birds. Fish likes banana, but other than that, I've not really had a cockatiel that likes fruits very much. They tend to like their veggies and green stuff a lot more. Sorry, tongue-tied now. Pinus, it's nice to see you as well. I mean, that sounds like an awesome weekend to me. I mean, if I could do that this evening, that would be something I would do as well. Have you seen what Pinus is doing? I mean, we need to get access to that and rewatch those. Oh, is this the modern one? The modern one any good?
I haven't heard
I don't know.
Otherwise, but we do love gladiators.
And Adara, yeah, it's totally possible to have different kind of connections with each of our birds. And sometimes they set that connection, you know, the way they behave, their personalities, they choose a relationship. And that's okay, just like with humans, you know, we set the tone for our relationships between each other. They set the tone of relationships as well. Rishi, my son Connie loves coconut water. Yeah, that's all right in moderation as well. A little bit of coconut water is okay. Don't let them have too much though, but a little bit is completely fine. Oh, new gladiators. Oh, okay, cool. We'll have to give that a go because we obviously like the classic. We'll give it a watch when we can. What channel was that on?
I don't know.
We'll look it up later. Don't bother about that. We'll find out. Maybe we can watch it on demand or something. Because yeah, we really love that sort of stuff. I did a little reel over on Instagram recently where these two again, because they're my favourites at the moment. They were doing like a gladiator travelator thing up the side of the cage, Scampy versus Pickles. And if you watch that reel on Instagram, you'll find out who won. Could they have aloe vera juice? I think they can have that in extreme moderation as well, but it has to be diluted. From memory, don't quote me on that though.
It has to be pure, and even then,
it has to be pure and then very, very diluted. I'd say because I don't.
Too much of it would mean lots of.
Yes, you'd have to dilute it very heavily, otherwise you will see. Yeah, you can, but pure and heavily diluted, and only a little bit. Honestly, I'm not sure it'd be worth doing based on that. To be honest. I had another thing I was going to talk about as well. Oh yeah, so anyone who watches my shorts on my main channel, go to my shorts channel. I put them on regularly. It's Burb versus anime. I will not be putting shorts on my main channel very often, only occasionally, because they don't do very well and they make it even harder for people to find my long form content. It makes it even worse. Every time I put a short up, a little burst, no one watches it afterwards, and then all my long form just goes like that. So yeah.
Pioneers actually released a video about that today, all about shorts and how awful they are.
Oh, good. We'll have to watch that, won't we? We'll give you a view, Pioneers.
Well, I've already seen it, but
we can watch it. Although I'll hopefully be watching My Hero later, so then we can watch it after that, maybe. Okay, Score. I have a question. Lentils. Someone told me they were toxic if you soak them. No.
They're like bad if you don't soak them.
No, they're bad if you don't soak them. Don't ever feed them raw, but they're not toxic if you soak them. If you haven't watched my soaking guide, do watch my soaking guide. It's a recent video. Yeah, Pinus, I don't mind it on my short channel because it takes me like 20 seconds, but I'm not doing it on my main channel. It's just ridiculous. The way they're handling it's ridiculous. So make sure you soak and watch my soaking guide. You can also sprout them. Can you sprout them again? Yeah. For a moment, I was like, hang on, I don't want to give bad advice. I'm so tired. Right, and Rishi as well. Soak lentils fine. Don't boil them. Don't boil them because that will ruin nutritional properties of them. So RM, we won't be able to watch that. We'll be eating and we'll be doing outings. Annoyingly, this TV is
really early.
Yeah, this TV doesn't get connected to the internet because it annoys me and it keeps doing funny things. So we'll probably just watch it another time. Although we pay our license, so we should be allowed to watch it when we want. So maybe another time. I don't resent that as well. Right, so in the last 5 minutes, last comments, last questions, anything else, happy to answer. If there's any burning questions, obviously you can leave them as a comment later and I'll respond. Nothing too complex, remember, because if it's really complex behavioural stuff, I will just say watch a video or book a consult because most of the time some quick fixes just won't work and it causes more harm than good.
Or they could sign up to your Patreon and join the Discord.
Well, yeah. So that's just as a punt for Patreon and channel members. You can join our Discord server, which Sophie more reliable than me. I do it once a day because I try to set a time for it. We respond to questions on there, give more detailed advice. We can ask questions back and forth. And it's quite a controlled environment. Lots of friendly people on there who will be able to help you as well. So yeah, we do have that RM. We have, so we could do it. It's just I don't know when. Hello. What you want? You don't have any more juice. So yeah, what was I talking about before then?
Nothing.
You just completely sidetracked me from what I was talking about.
What do you want Scampy to do?
There's no more treats, I'm afraid. There's no more treats for you, little man.
And
you're not going on the keyboard. You can go to mummy if you want. But if I have to turn this off in a second, you're not going on the keyboard. So we were talking about responding to stuff on Patreon, and so if you're a channel member as well, drop me a comment if you haven't got access to it and I'll put up a post with the link to it as well, because that's another easy way and a lot cheaper than sort of booking consults and stuff. I was going to respond to Scott. So yes, one thing. Sorry. So Scott, sometimes there's a lot of misinformation and people will have their opinions and they'll present it as fact. They are safe. Just make sure you soak them properly because they take a bit longer than other stuff. Maybe this person got the wrong impression because they weren't soaked long enough. How long is a good amount of time to train each day? So this is something we say, a minimum sort of is 2 to 3 sessions a day. And I don't know if you can hear me because there's so much noise. 2 to 3 sessions a day. And we recommend between 1 to 5 minutes, depending on how motivated your bird is. That's a minimum. You can do a little bit more, have more sessions. That's completely fine. It all depends on how your bird's treat motivation is, what your schedule is, but generally people can always fit in at least a quick 1 minute session here, 1 minute session there, even through the bars of the cage. Keep that training up. It's just even if you really only have time for a couple of targets, that's worth it because the training benefits most from consistency rather than length of time. So if you're consistently doing it, that reinforces lessons, especially with the positive reinforcement, more so than anything else. You look like you want to say something.
No, you've got to do something before you finish your live stream.
Oh, yeah, let's do it quickly now. See me here. Sammy's like, I'll do it as well.
Make sure you appreciate that, guys.
Yeah, I hope you appreciate that, guys. There's this other thing I keep watching on TikTok that I just had to do before, and it makes me laugh. It's just stupid. If you got the reference of it, that's great. Right, so I'm going to wrap it up on that embarrassing topic now. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending today. It was a lovely live stream. It was nice to have a lot of engagement with the topic as well. I find it interesting discussing it with you guys. I'm glad you enjoyed the bonus at the end. I promise you it will not be a regular thing, I'm afraid. Are bean sprouts safe for birds? Do you want to take that before I wrap this up? Because I need to kick a few things.
Bean sprouts from the supermarket for a stir fry, I would say no. But if you are sprouting mung beans, that's fine, or dinky beans or chickpeas.
Cool. Right. So, guys, thanks very much. That's the last question we can take. Take care, everyone. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you everyone who donated. That's very much appreciated. I hope you all have an excellent weekend. Goodbye from us, Mr. Scrumbler, who's just still wanting to be on me, and everyone else. Take care. See you later.